Alright, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome on yet another interesting edition of Random. Yes, this is the 5th episode of Random, and trust me, this is going to be explosive once again. I'm so sure of that. My guest today is someone that is very famous, very popular, quite an interesting personality. All the personalities we bring on this show, they are interesting personalities because, like I keep saying, their mind is what really attracted us to them, and that is the reason why they are here on Random. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're ready, we are ready. Let's quickly do this together. So, my guest today is the one and only Tolu FAGBURE TF, popularly known as Afin.
Ding,
you are
ding,
welcome.
Ding, 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 ding.
You are welcome, specially.
Thank you.
I've dreamt of this moment that I wish I could have TF on this show.
Yeah.
And thank God, finally, you are here.
I am here.
Yes, sir.
We are here.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Eshe.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
As you can see, Afin is not a nickname. He is by birth is an albino.
Thank you.
And
Afin is my name.
Afin is your name.
They did not remember my real name.
Okay, they can call you Afin. Now, many people have said this concerning you. Right. That many albinos that they know, they suffer from what's it called now? Inferiority complex. But for you, I've heard that you suffer from superiority complex.
Shit. But
so how are you able to do that?
Well, superiority complex. Wow, that's interesting. I just don't know. I don't understand it. I know that I know how to do the things I need to do, right? So what else do you want me to do? Why must I feel inferior to you? Why must I feel beneath you? As a matter of fact, I think that if I come back to this earth, I'll come back as an albino. I'll choose to come back as an albino. There are a lot of honor, timomanda, that I used to use my albino to die. That if you are black, you cannot die. I like it like that. And I don't see any limitation. Okay, maybe the limitation is I cannot see very far, and I have astigmatism. And all of them, when God has catch you black people, you too used to have it. Astigmatism, you have short-sightedness, you wear glasses like me. So what's the difference? You say I should go to school. I went to the best school in Nigeria, UI, University of
I'm not sure there's any UI that is watching that will not know here.
No, can it hear me?
Maybe those that were UI in the early 90s or 2000.
I want to go to mommy. They said they don't know me. Say one boy has entered our school.
I remember the first time we met. Remember, it was at the 5th year anniversary of Reverend Folake Ike's church.
Oh yes, Love Comes Softly.
Yes, Love Comes Softly. I was there to perform as a comedian. You were the MC on that day, and I was like, who be this guy? Who be this person? So you've been an MC. You are a performer. You are a thespian. You are a thespian. I think that's just the perfect word to describe you. So now, screen, stage, you are not a stranger to any of this.
None.
Which of them is your favorite and why?
None is my favorite.
Why?
My job is my favorite.
Okay.
Anything. Theater is I like, full disclosure, I'm 42. This year, in July 13, I'll be 42. And that will be 27 years that I've been in practice.
27 years?
Yes, please. I started at the age of 15 in 1998. Obande Grammar School. My father had just taken me away from Loyola College, Ibadan, to Obande Grammar School because troublesome. I repeated 2 times, not because I couldn't study, but I would not stay in class. So my class teacher then now told my dad they were in the same elders, whatever in church. She said, they said, so happened that Obande Grammar School was the second choice that my parents picked in common entrance. So I went to my first choice and second choice. So I got to Obande Grammar School, and I was supposed to take note that the year that I was supposed to be writing WAEC, I was repeating it again. Right? So instead of repeating here, go and do external at Obande Grammar School. I can't come to terms with the fact that you ever repeated, because I know you to be a brilliant person. Yeah, so, but when I will not stay in class and I will not write. Don't worry, I will tell you that story as I go into UI too. So I got to Obande Grammar School, and we met Chief JB Akintayo. I don't know if the man is still alive now. He was principal then in 98. And he said, no, there's no space for SNI again, except you go and start from SS2. Okay, my father just made that decision at the spur of the moment that, okay, instead of going back to Loyola College to repeat do SS2 here. So I stayed there, and there was cultural troop. That's what changed my life. I'd started doing Egbe Akomolede and Egbe Akomolede at Loyola College. They used to put me at the back. I don't know if it's because I was an albino, but they put me at the back. That was when Dr. Shaolu was the Commissioner for Education. She was going to come to Loyola College and wanted to dance for her. So the Sha put me at the back. I danced. So that was in me. So I went to Urban Day Grammar School and I joined cultural troop. Of course, I don't stay at the back. I come forward. You can't. I will try and form posh, but in the next 10 minutes, I'm talking. So I can't take a followership position. I must go to leadership. So I started to do things. I started to compose, and then Tolu FAGBURE now came from Obakinyele Grammar School. So she now liked to be leader. So we now had tug of war, and both of us Oloyinbola Ameji, So we started talking, and there was conflict. So Mobinukro, I left, and I started my own troop, Egbe Akomolede ati Agbashaga. Trust me, my troop was very popular. I had members from GSS 1 to SS3, even people that were my senior colleagues, my seniors. I was in SS2. So people that were even in SS3 were part of my troop, and it was a very popular troop. At a point, Chief JB Akintayo wanted to bury his mom. So, and I heard, Muslim play politics, and I heard that cultural troop will be performing, and I went to Mrs. Awukola that we too now give us chance to perform Egbe Akomolede and Agbashaga. She now said there is space only for one person. And I said, how do we do it? She said, both of you go and prepare, we'll pick the best. Yeah. Me, no, I know you hear that kind of thing. That day, I left the assembly. Instead of going to class, I went to every class in that school. GSS 1. GSS 1, we have A, B, C. I entered the GSS 1, GSS 2, GSS 3, SS1, SS2, SS3 to announce to all my members that there will be rehearsal at break time. So at break time, we had rehearsal. And I started. Trust me, how I knew that I had won. And that was, I'd learned the concept of the first, finishing early at that time. So I prepared and I was ready. So I went to call Mr. Awukola to come and see it. And she brought some other people. And this is how I knew I had won. He said, again, call you Lori Kansi. She now said, say, Bola Tito, o ni yeye mo o, bo ni yeye pe yeye mama roju o. She now said, so, Lord, call one. Me, I just face my people. I said, did you hear the song? She said, yes. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, go. Of course, they started singing the song. Naturally, I want to they will be brilliant. They will sing the song. The people at the back, after them, but they will get it a little bit more. The people at the back, so the people at the front knew it, influenced the people at the back when they sang the second time, so one thing more, influenced the people at the back, so they knew the song in a jiffy. So she thought I was, so they were looking at me like, this guy controlling this troop. So, and I started making money at that age. My teachers at that time they have a nursery and primary school, one flat. So I went on dogma. So we will go and sing for them. They will give us money. Mora Shakara sets. I bought Akuba. I started managing troop before.
Right from secondary.
Yes, please. And I joined Association of Nigerian Theatre Arts Practitioners in 1999. Wow. When Ogabilo was president.
Wow.
Yes. When I think Omoba Dele Prince Dele was national vice president. Wow. Mama Abeni Saje, Fausat Balogun was the national welfare secretary. So I know this industry. By the time I was entering Loyola College, UI in 2004, I was 6 years in the industry. I went to SRK. I have an ND in accounting, but for one reason or the other, I don't write it on my CV. Go and do ND. I became a popular MC. If FIPSU, Federation of Biosident Union, they did not see me to come and chant, they will not start meeting. the time when Democrat was president in SRK, Osun State College of Technology, I followed them from SRK to Yola just because I could lead generation songs, Aluta song. You know, I was the life of the party. I was the life of it. But all that time, I wanted to study theater, and I went to buy my form by myself. I didn't wait for my father because my father wanted me to be an accountant. You know, so it's a lot. So I don't see myself. I decided that I was going to do everything well and good, and everything that is to be done in the theater is what I will do. Film screen is a form of theater, it's electronic theater, so it's still theater. So that's why stage and screen, there's no demarcation. It gives me joy. I just do it. Put me in front of the camera acting, I'm doing it. Put me behind producing, directing, I'm doing it. Put me on stage acting, I'm doing it. Put me in front of the stage directing, I'm doing it. Put me on radio in front of the mic, I'm doing it. Behind the mic, producing radio drama, producing programs, I'm doing it. It's just theater.
That's why that's the TF effect.
Yes,
you don't know. Now, let's quickly talk about something. Now, you've mentioned your passion about the culture, about our culture.
Yes.
What interests you from that age in the Yoruba culture? You are more like a cultural ambassador, if I will ask. If I will describe you, there is a way you speak you speak English very well, and there's a way you speak your Yoruba too that fascinate anyone listening. So, what interests you? Where did you grow? Is your growing up? Did your growing up has anything to do with your versatility when it comes to the Yoruba language?
Yes, please. I think it did. I think it did. What interested me really to start a troupe, if you remember, I don't know if you lived in Ibadan, but those people that lived in Ibadan around my time will remember Queen of Apostle Secondary Commercial Grammar School. They had a troupe that the BCS used to go and film. So they would sing, and I watched them on BCS, all girls. My sister eventually went to that school. My younger sister, she eventually went to that school. It was behind Lula College, so we call them Baki. Right? That was an inspiration for me. Seeing them on TV, they had nice songs. In fact, they were the inspiration. I started writing songs along the kind of styles that they were writing. I remember my song, Eba Ale. This song is 1999-2000, and I still remember it. Eba Ale, you are Eba Jelori Lady wa. Eba Ale o, lójoojúmọ́ là ń bàjẹ́ sí. Ṣó yẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀? Ẹ̀yin àgbà ẹ máa gbọ́. Ṣé bàgbà kì í wà lọ́jà? Kórí ọmọ tuntun wọ́n. You
composed that?
Yes, please. As far back as 1999-2000. I was the composer, the singer, the lead actor for my troupe because I had to take it up. Right? You see, for me, I would say that I learned theater, radio, everything I know how to do now. I learned it as a child. My first lesson was from consuming. My training, first of all, came from consuming. That time when you're on holiday, your parents will go to work, they leave you with your radio. You hear radio, oh, why, oh, and all that. And then you read, good afternoon, here is the news. I am Opeyemi Orimolade with the news. First, the headline. They will not. So, my first consumption, my first level of training came from consumption. So, from consuming, I began to learn. 1. 2. My parents had a very big influence. My father, mostly, were avid consumers of the arts in my family. Even up to now, my father is 77. My mom is 63. They are still serious consumers of the arts. Now, my father will buy Ijo Yo. Imagine somebody buying the video in video cassette, VHS, brings it. Kola wale she nkalo, tell me ọmọge dákun má padà, What won't I remember? I remember my very first performance. It was Esheo. See, that was the year Ace came out in 1989. I think around that time I was in primary 1, primary 2 or thereabouts. So we had a teacher, Mrs. Haruna. She is, I don't know if she's alive, was an Indian. So at the end of the class at Alafia Institute Orogun, the school is now in Imbo College, opposite Orogun Grammar School now. He sold it and it became Alafia Estates. It was a big school. He had 3 playing fields. He had a school hall. He had a library. He had a canteen. In nursery and primary school. So Mrs. Haruna would say at the end, towards the end of the day, she would tell us stories. And so one day she said, "Who has a story?" She come and tell us. Me and I look. I said, "Excuse me, ma. I don't have story, but I have song." I said, "Okay, sing." And I took T Square. With your mic. And I started. I sang the whole side one of Ace. People came out because my whole class, they were, of course, it was a song that everybody knew as young people. So they were shouting. Then when my father came to pick me, because he came to pick us, and people were greeting us specially, and I said, "What's the problem?" And I told him, he now smiled. He now removed what he was playing from his Toyota Paneva. I will never forget. He stopped it, removed it, and I played Ace. When we got home, he was told she cooked jollof rice for us that night. The next morning, my father turned the cassette and played Padidi Para Pa Padada Para Pa till we got to school. We were living at Amudajeri. We were going to Orogun, so the time space. So that afternoon, Mrs. Haruna did not even ask who has stories. Tolu Abe, because that's how she used to call Tolu Lokpe. Tolu Abe, come and sing for us. I just started again. Padidi Para Pa Padada Para Pa. So I had consumption. The materials I consumed had a lot of cultural influence. Remember the days of the Wicked Boy, Ogogo, the picture, Kotuaye, right? Even the film that had English title, Lady the House Girl by Alade Aromire, Ashirinla. I still remember most song, Odimule, Odon Ashiri, Odobade, Odokukun, Biri, Bojubayeju, Kohun Maye, Odon Ashiri, Ashirinla. These were films I saw in 1990, 1991, 1992, 1993. Emma Adomo. It shocked somebody when one day I was performing and I said, "Let's know who are the people that are pentagons here." And I said, "Ṣé ẹ ti gbọ́ nípa oògùn tuntun tó jáde Alagbin lórúkọ tó ń jẹ́." If you didn't live in Ibadan,
yeah, I don't live in Ibadan.
Fún òtútù ibà àtàrà ríro hóró Alagbin ní kó mu, fún ẹ̀fọ́rí mu Alagbin, fún òtútù mu Alagbin, má ṣe jẹ́ kí àìsàn tí yóò tó nǹkan bò ẹ́ mọ́lẹ̀. Alagbin. So you see, all these materials influenced my growing up. Ọ̀pá-ajé, ọjọ́ wo lẹ dá? So it is not possible for you not to have cultural influences. It's not possible because the entire content taught you culture. Then my parents, apart from being avid consumers, were avid cultural people. Now, even up to now, when I quarrel with some people, my mother will still say, but I will borrow because I'm an albino. I must fight because people will disturb my life. So that's my response to them, and that's why otherwise people will look at me, and when you tell them, "Oh, who did this? Oh, this is very good. Who did it?" I told you, I feel, their face goes, okay, like, okay, is it a thing? I said I would stop telling this story, but I will say it. One very popular woman, we became friends, and she did so well by me. She had supported me way after that. But our first meeting, I hired her for a show. I was line producer, and I was talking with her on the phone, and she loved it. And she came in, everybody in the crew were greeting her. Normally, I should stay in the office for her to come upstairs and greet me. But I just thought, okay, she's older than us. And she started than us, earlier than us in the industry. Let's go down and meet her. And I put my hand in my dashiki like this. I wanted to greet her. She was stunning. She was ignoring me. She was greeting everybody else. Yeah, I was standing in my corner. And she said, hey, Joe, hey, I got key. I want to go, Mr. Tolu FAGBURE. Hey, Joe, I want that. And one person just said, number one. I want to he just did. And then Mr. Tolu FAGBURE, don't want intelligence here. Number one. I want to and she just like, Afi. You alone sort of being. Oops. So that's the expectation. So I don't have a choice. But to be that, I had to mark my territory. I had to hold my own. Anyway, so my parents also helped me. They want you to behave like an Omoluabi, like a proper Yoruba person. So they spoke Yoruba to me in the entire house. Somebody was looking at me and said, because of how my command of English language, he said, in your house when you were growing up, Tolu, did you used to speak English or Yoruba? I had to take a minute to pause and think. And I remember that the only 2 sentences of English that my father and my mother said to us all the period of growing up was an idiot and nonsense. When my father, you have done everything and it has vexed my father, it's an idiot. When you have said everything and it has vexed my mother, it's nonsense. Up till now, they still say those two expressions. My mother still says nonsense. My father says an idiot. He says those are the 2 English words. As in Soyinbo tan nínú ilé wa Yorùbá ni Quran. But my father didn't spare the expense on our early years foundation studies. Alafia Institute Orogun at that time was one of the most expensive schools. Put it side by side with Shubuola and Isheoluwa Montessori. In fact, I think Isheoluwa came later. Shubuola and Alafia Institute Orogun, then Alafia Institute Mokola, because the mother of the owner of Orogun is the owner of the owner of Mokola. Okay. Right, Mrs. Yinka Lalade ni Bolaniwa. That's Yimbo Yinka Bolaniwa. Okay. So I was taught by Indians and Ghanaians. We were taught by teaching aides. So many things. So that's
you had a solid
educational background, and I had a solid cultural background at the home front. So it influenced me. That's it. Then even when I was growing up, I met people like Uncle Bayo Ajao, who is now a pastor in the US. Uncle Bayo Ajao, when we go and do performances at FAPAC, non-governmental organization performances, FAPAC Ethnic Troop, Uncle Bayo will be playing Wasiu. That was when I started listening to like the time you're Ejale. Ẹ̀fín mi lọ́rùn sílẹ̀ Olúwa ló ṣe ìyọ̀tá ẹ̀ máa yọ̀. Get it.
I will take you somewhere. Okay. I want to get somewhere.
Yes.
You just mentioned now how the movies you watched, the music you listened to shaped your own what's it called now? Vastness.
Yes, please.
Versatility. Your cultural and expresses your cultural skills.
Yes.
So now, the movies we are producing these days, you are a producer. You've produced some movies too, and I've seen you act in movies. Will you compare the movies of those days with the movies of now? If not, what are the disparities?
Sorry, bro, you can't. You can't compare them.
Why?
You can't. The content are deeper. They're more passionate. The people who told early stories, especially in the Yoruba film industry, which is my forte, which is my niche place, my preferred niche, okay? They didn't care about money, they didn't care about clout. Yes, they did the business. People like Adeyemi Afolayan actually did business. People like Moses Olaya Adejumo, Baba Salah did business. I mean, Ishola Ogunshola, Aisho Pepe, when they went to show Efusheto and Iwura, The first day, the money they made, they bought a Toyota Hiace bus. The next day, the money they made, they bought a Toyota, a 504 station wagon.
Wow.
I think the third day, the money they made, they bought another car.
That means they were making cool
They
money.
were making money. So when they said then they didn't used to make money, I said, who told you so? If you ask Babeda, I heard from a reliable source that they went to show a film in Lagos, and from the proceeds, he bought a 505 Evolution. So a driver was driving the Evolution in front. He was bringing his 504 at the back. And he showed you one in front of him like this. The 505 Evolution had an accident and bumped right in front of him nowadays. Now, I couldn't confirm that. I've not been able to ask him to confirm it, but somebody who knew that history. So, I mean, they were making enough to buy cars, to live well, to marry wives. You know,
It was one of the
they were doing
perks of being a big man back then.
Yes, but for the theater, the problem then was you had to marry your actresses, otherwise their parents would take them, and you will not have performances. You will not have performance. So if you see a performer that had sense, that is female, I marry any. Otherwise, mama matowamu, tabike gboewamu, or somebody will marry her, and she's gone. So after training her, after doing everything, after putting, you will now, somebody will now marry her, or the parents will now take her away. You will now start again. No, Jaffe. That's why they used to marry them, so that they can because people do not allow their girls to come out. It's still allowed boys, but they will not allow girls because vagabond is even up to now. Some people still have that kind of thought.
I will still come back then.
But in any case, you see, and that's what I'm saying. These men told a story of passion. Don't forget, they also were coming from a deep place of culture. So they understood the concept of storytelling. They understood that the product is what people want to see, and the product is not the film. The product is the story. But there is focus. There's so much focus on paparazzi now. There's so much focus on social media presence. People just want to come and shake their butts, shake their whatever, do makeup for endorsement. Some, you even see producers, they write their name, they write Instagram handle under their name, they write their phone number under their name, because they want people to reach out to them and give them money. So their stories are not passionate.
I think the focus has shifted from the original product.
Yes.
Because I'm just getting to know that the story is the product. I believe the movie, is actually the product.
And for that, look at what we are doing now. Let me tell you, we are doing a podcast. Every goat can do a podcast. Like a goat can literally.
Proper mare, not greatest of all time. Not greatest of all time.
Yes, a goat can set up, and that's what if you understand me.
Yes.
Literally, anybody can set up a podcast. We see a lot of podcasts. How many of them have content? How many of them blow? How many of them hold the attention? Okay, so like everybody does podcasts, but how many of the podcasts make sense? So podcast is podcast, but what makes people say, "Oh, I forgot"? Oh, so and so. Oh, is the value they derive from what you dish out. That's the content. This is just the capsule. This is the capsule. This is just the container. The podcast is just the medium. It's just the container. Drama. Okay? Podcast. Radio show. But what is inside it? That's the product. How does it connect you? How does it align with you? How is it personal to you? How does it talk to you? How do you draw your people in with your stories? What kind of stories do you tell? People used to say at that time that they can't do better stories until Tunde Kelani came. Until people like Tade came in from the UK and started doing serious story. And Overblow became a big hit. Hostages became a big hit. Diamond Ring So it now became so much so that these two people, Tade Ogino, Tunde Kelani, now began. They didn't need to use stars to do their movies. Of course, they were using stars.
Recently, I still watched All Stages. I just saw a clip of
Yeah.
it, and I realized that the main cast there, the guy. I'm not sure. I'm very familiar with that face.
If you are not a TV person at that time, he was fairly popular at that time, but he was not. So you could pull them from TV. They were TV stars, yes. They are not film stars. So once people trust what you will give out, they don't care where you put them. Look at what Tade did with Madam Dearest. He went and brought Aki Lewis, and immediately Aki Lewis came. My father said, "Why worry? Why worry the lion?" I could remember him from. I didn't know him. Why worry? Don't claim me. I never why worry. I don't know him, but I saw that Aki Lewis was from that acting. He was an actor, and he showed. He went to Ife. So I began to pro. Gabriel and the girl who played Nene, Tolu Babalola, was in UI at that time. I remember a very lovely girl. I think she was doing diploma. She's in the UK now. I think she's a nurse now. She's trying to produce a couple of films now. Tolu Babalola was, Yamishola, they had graduated from Ife too. So it wasn't people, yes, they were using stars, but they could do their projects. Their project was not star focused. Gabriel was not a star. Tolu Babalola was not a star. Why worry? People had forgotten. The new generation at that time didn't know him. So what Tade Ogino went and brought was content. Tunde Kelani would do Aruba and put a Bukola Awoyemi who had just graduated from the University of Ilorin, Department of Performing Arts, and use her to start the movie. They will not dare it now. Because who will watch it?
So now, is this the problem of the producers or a problem of the audience?
It's a problem. See, that's where they now start. They now say it is what the audience wants that they are giving them. And me, I have a radio show flow, where I review films, especially Yoruba films.
And you are very known for
not
sparing the rod.
No, I'm not sparing the rod. I've asked the audience, we want to funny. And the audience have called me back. I said, no. No. Because if you give the audience quality, you will see that they will shift it. You say that nonsense lonta. That's not true. When Asha came, didn't Asha blow? Beautiful Nubia has his own audience. Okay, it might not have blown like Davido. Maybe because she didn't do the marketing of Davido. It's a pity that they didn't do all this kind of marketing that should have been done. The one now principle. So they can't take this, they can't take that, they can't take that. And Davido they take it. And Asha can't take it because they are coming from international. They are not human rights activists like Shegun Akilolu. You know, so. But you would still see that Shegun Akilolu would want to do his emo first. His compound will still be full, and the people will pay 5,000 naira each. So that means people still want good music. People want good things. You give it to them. If you give it to them as the only option. So if you, Afoda is doing a film, you do it very well. I do a film, I do it properly. Somebody else is doing a film, he does it properly. And we have an array of properly produced film. You will see that the audience wants properly. If somebody now comes and does nonsense film, you see, nobody will touch it. But what we have is that we have a plenty array of nonsense film and a sprinkling of things that make sense.
Now, you said something earlier when we were talking about the storytellers of old and the reputation of the industry. People have said that it's for low lifers, it's for what's it called now? Especially the ladies.
Never do well.
Ladies, exactly. They call them prostitute and so many names. But now, I think the reputation is still there, especially with the ladies. Over the years, they see them as objects, but now they see them as like they are the ones controlling the narrative. Now the ladies that back then there was this belief that they use them, and when they go there, they do stuff. But now people are seeing movie production, or let me say the movie industry, as a platform for marketing for marketing prostitution, because they have and I won't say the results are there, but then they have for those people that are claiming that they have evidences to back up their argument.
Fantastic. I also agree. I agree a lot. There is a theory called the male gaze theory by Laura Mulvey in theater and film. It says that, I think the theory was promulgated in about 1970s. She wrote a paper about the male gaze, and it says the looking for pleasure, that females have been placed as an object of pleasure within the story for co-actors, and as object of pleasure for the audience.
You have to break that down.
So what Laura Mulvey was saying in the male gaze theory is that women are given roles that place them as sexual objects.
But now
objectification.
We've seen women producers now giving themselves roles.
Okay, but now let's go further into the roles that we have now, in the films that we have now. They are trying to be alpha females, but they are failing. They are still positioning themselves as sexual objects.
Also,
they are trying to be strong, but hardly would you see a lady in the film, go watch all the films, that wear a shirt that will have all the shirt buttons. They will remove at least 2 buttons to show what?
Cleavage.
Simple. So when you are showing me cleavage, is what are you selling?
Listen.
Now you show me somebody is in her house, somebody is going to the office, somebody is going to visit her boyfriend. She wears a dress that has a slit from here to here, and you will see that this dress is a dinner gown. It's a party wear. It's not an everyday wear. Yet they wear it. Why? They want to, I told you, they put their numbers, why? They want big men to call them. They have objectified themselves. However, though, the people who have now tried, those same people, they are leaders, are now trying to do big films. They are now trying to say, where ladies are in charge. They are now doing stories of women in charge. They are now overdoing it. I've mentioned it on my show before. So that's why you have films like House of God. Balani Austin Peters is doing that, and she's overdoing it. She's overdoing it a lot for me. When I saw Man of God, I think Balani Austin Peters did Man of God, and she gave the lady a powerful role, a supporting role for Kunle Remi. Okay, I appreciated that. But then when she did Funmilayo Ransom Kuti, I was pissed.
Why?
I was absolutely pissed. You positioned Funmilayo Ransom Kuti as a fighter of women. She was not. She was a social crusader. She followed them, Awolowo and all of them, to London to discuss independence. She was not. She wasn't preoccupied with fighting for women. That Egba women riot was just one of those things that she happened to chance by. That was not even her first activist move. No, please. And then because she now wanted to position Funmilayo Ransom Kuti as a big woman, as one woman who was feisty, she now positioned her husband, the very Reverend Israel Oludosu Ransom Kuti, as a stay-at-home man, the man who was her muse. I mean, that woman was fiery in the Egba of that time because her husband allowed it. One, and I'm unapologetic about that word allow, because her husband allowed it, because her husband supported it, because her husband helped her in strategy. If you remember Israel Oludosu Ransom Kuti, the Reverend I.O. Ransom Kuti, you will remember Nigerian Union of Teachers. He's the one who started that union. He was a teacher. He was a reverend. He was a teacher. He was a principal of Abeokuta Grammar School. He was a firebrand. He was not a, yes, he was a calm, cool, collected man, but he was not a gentleman. He was not a walkover. He was not a stay-at-home man who just encourages his wife to go to the battle lines. No, please. He was a firebrand. He was a voice in national issues. Hardly. So, do you think it's only their mother that Bẹ́ẹ̀ Kọ́lárí, Olikoye, Fela? You think it's only their mother that they watched? It's a chip off the whole block of their father. The apple does not fall far away from the tree. You know, so you now went and doused that character. Some of us who understand that history, it was an aberration, it was an annoyance. Okay, then you went ahead and did House of God.
I was about mentioning that there is something similar to that I've had regarding.
Yeah, she went and did House of God. Now, I don't disagree with what she did in House of God.
Okay.
She had that creative license to do it. And what did she do? She tried to erase the male gaze theory with her storyline. Naturally. Although, logically, in story logic, it failed. It fell flat. And this is why. She made the women fight the warriors when they came to sack God's house. So the woman too, instead of staying and screaming to be killed, which is what is normal, okay, she now made the women fight back. Now, theater is the approximation of life as lived day after day. Each moment is felt and immediately becomes a part of the past. Oscar G. Brockett's 1975. Approximation of life. In those days, female fighters or warriors, women don't fight. So female fighters, warriors were novel. That was why the Amazon of Dahomey were novelty. That was why there was a lot of rumor. They didn't have breast. They have one breast. For them to be able to fight like that, they must have cut off their breast. They didn't. That was why there was a lot of myth. Because it's novelty. Yes, we have had female kings who are warriors. Lu Bagida. We had Orokbotoniu at Oyo. We've had Oni of Ife, who were women. We've had Owa Obokun of Ilesha, who are women. Not Adele. Kings. Not queens. Kings. They were female kings. We've had Queen Amina of Zaza. We've had Queen Idia of Benin. We had women. But it was novelty. Women don't fight. Women don't train to be warriors. Period. Now, so it was an aberration to history. But give it to Bolanle Austin Peters, poetic license, creative license. Now this is where it fell flat on logic. Have you ever carried a sword? Have you ever wielded a sword?
No.
A real sword. If you have, you will know that it is metal and it is heavy. If it's not heavy, it won't slice through men. It's heavy metal sharpened at the edge. It won't have, and you will see that when you want to wield, even check Merlin, check Tudor, check, it's first of all, you will see that when somebody who doesn't know how to carry the sword carries it, he swings the person down. It's heavy. It's not something. So you must first learn how to carry sword, learn how to wield it, then learn how to fight with it. So you didn't show me where the women were training. But when fight came, they suddenly were able to carry sword and fight. That's not logical. You are trying to position women as fighters. Then give me a time in the house of God where the women were training. Put it in the story. The only time I saw the women was they were picking egusi, picking efo, cooking. So if you could show me where they were cooking, where they were picking egusi, where they were, then you can show me where they were training. So you can work for that logic for me. But because they were in a hurry to prove the superiority of women, which didn't need to be proved. It didn't need proving. Because I tell people, it is only when you don't have education about Yoruba, African, or Nigerian history that you think women were nothing until now. But I'll wait for you to ask me that question.
All right, see, it's random. So we want to touch a lot of things. I have a lot of things I want to touch. You are a producer.
Yes.
At least I've watched Inuogba.
Yes, please.
Yes, I've seen Inuogba, and I know that you've produced quite a couple of
Yes,
movies.
I've done Oloruka, which is a short film.
And now we've been talking about ladies in the industry. There is something that we've had, and of course, I want you to either confirm or deny that you producers, I'm not saying you, I mean producers.
Just say it.
Producers generally, not Mark now. Producers generally ask for a lady's back to feature her.
Yes.
That kind of thing. Sex for role.
Yes, please.
We've heard of sex for roles.
Yes, please.
And we've heard of some other things about women being more successful because of the commercial part of filmmaking to women, which men don't have access to.
Yes,
so
sir.
these two things, I wanted to intertwine them and let's analyze them briefly before we touch on education.
Everywhere, women are favored species. I've heard, it's a myth. I didn't know the man. I knew the man, but it didn't happen in my presence. But someone told me the story of Baba Paul Maforikon, one of the greatest men of Celestial Church in Ibadan here. At the time he was praying for mercy. He was saying, God have mercy on me. God have mercy on me. He needed money. But God now not giving money. God was not giving him wives. Women were coming his way. He was marrying them. Women were coming him. So he said, I went to God and said, but you are giving me wife. You are not giving me
the money I asked for.
He said, that person now told me that God now told him that you are asking for mercy. Mercy, money. You didn't make it clear. When you ask for mercy, it's equivalent to woman.
Mercy is equivalent to woman.
So that since that day, when I pray, God have mercy on me, give me money. Momanla, ṣàánú fún mi jẹ́ kí n lówó lọ́wọ́. Ṣàánú fún mi jẹ́ kí n kọ́lé mọ́lé. Ṣàánú fún mi.
Not ṣàánú fún mi jẹ́ kó mi máa lé mi kiri.
And not even just Olúwa ṣàánú fún mi.
Because that could be interpreted
it
to
could
mean
just be women will be coming your way. Well, you can believe it or not. Now, so wherever women appears, that's why women are the ones doing marketing. The marketing roles, sales roles. When you go to bars, you rarely find male waiters. You find them, but you rarely will hire female. Hair hostesses, why are they known as males? Why are they female? They're pleasing to look at, whether you like it or not. So, because they too have played it up, men too have a lot of things. Some women follow men, but because tell the men, why they tell you beneath 10. So it's normal. It now depends on. I won't deny that it's not happening. They are even displaying it themselves. So I won't deny that that's not happening. So, but that women are more successful than men. I think success is not relative. For me, in my opinion, I think men are now taking the bulls by the horns. I think men make the money, but they just sweat. They make money, but they just sweat harder than the women. And if you check the women, they don't last too much. The ones who last are the ones who put in the work, like the men are doing. Right. Now that's that. Now, about sex for roles. I've told people, some people tell me it's bad, it's nonsense, it's not good. And I tell them, why? They say, are you supporting it? I said, it's not a matter of whether I support it or not. Whether I support it or not is happening. So this person goes and borrows money, probably sells his father's house, or sells a house, wants to shoot a film. Me, I keep it real. Now, wants to shoot a film, and as he's producing the film, you come to him and he's looking at you, he likes you. Maybe he started talking to you, or you came to him and he says, I like it, I like you. You said no. The guy says bye bye. And you come back, he said, help me like a sister. And I ask you, I ask you, because once you leave him, you leave that space, right? And then you go to your boyfriend's house, who you give transport to go out that day. As you are going, you buy you buy mama, you buy everything, you cook the thing. While you are cooking, the guy catch you for kitchen, knock you one. As you are finished cooking, he's touching you. Once you finish cooking like this, you want to go and shower, he catch you, knock you one.
Making two.
You are going home. You drop 5k or 10k for him.
And they still give you one for the road.
Give you one for the road. You are collecting nothing from him. No benefit, nothing. But the person who wants to give you some benefit, you say, help me like a sister. Where is the sense? For me, where is the sense? Now, please take note that I am not saying that that's the correct way to do business. But I'm saying that from here to Hollywood, it is there. From here to Hollywood, from the days of David, when David killed Uriah to marry Bathsheba, it has been there. The attraction of women, the politicking of women, the exchange, the sensual exchange had always been there, will always be there. You cannot erase it. You can't get rid of it in this industry and in this life. So it is simple. Woman, man, give me sex, I give you role. I don't give you, I will not give you my role. Bye bye. Go and look for a food that is looking for your brain, that will give you role for brain. It's simple. Why are you making noise? Why are you saying some people they don't have talent but they are getting roles? And go and do what they did. If you can't do what they did, focus on your own hustle, the way you know how to do it. Elomi láyé ara ẹnìkan ló ní, or let me say the truth the way by man sọ, ìdí ẹnìkan ló ní, kò nọ́pọlọ kankan.
A dẹ̀ jẹun.
Ó máa jẹun ntoni nìyẹn.
Ó náà gbalé.
And elomi, there is some people have brain. But okay, if I stay on principle, ebi apamimo brain mi. So they say, shey this is what you want, let me release a bit. Kò ṣá ka mítà. Wọ́n dẹ̀ sọ aago mọ́ pé tó bá ti débẹ̀ kó máa dún, kò sálàmù bẹ́ẹ̀. A lot of them are so-called successful people who will come. They will not come, àwọn motivational speaker. They will not come and tell you, you must not, shut up. Can you tell these people the truth? Look at the situation that you are in and do whatever pays you, whatever rocks your boat. I'm not saying go and do sex for role. I'm not saying you don't do it. Look at the situation.
Assess yourself.
Assess yourself. And do I need this? Do I want this? Do I want to do this? Will this pay me? Is it aligning with my principle? Hello, me principle ẹ ní pé wọ́n lè gbà kan broke. Men and women, I have friends that can broke. Wọ́n ta gbogbo ẹrù ilé wọn pátápátá. Wọ́n máa ta lẹ́ẹ̀kọ̀ kan tó bá ti broke. Wọ́n máa ta fridge náà máa ta last. Torí wọ́n kún gbogbo síbẹ̀. Wọ́n á kọ́ fa TV yọ. Wọ́n á ta sofa. Wọ́n á ta bed. They cannot be broke. But you will look at that person, arúgbó ni, akọtilétà ni, problem ti ẹni. Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ máa ń bá ṣe. God does it for him, so much so that after a few months,
you will
pick up and buy new things. Ìbá àfi lónìí rà, ó ṣáà máa rà. You will still buy it. You stay there, say, Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ ń tẹrù mi, èèyàn rádaràda. It's a terrible habit. Sit down there. Sit down, be talking what is not your business instead of facing your life. Ìwọ ò lè ta tiẹ̀ gbẹnu sọ̀hún. Òun lè ta tiẹ̀. That's what wọ́n lè gbà kan broke. And there are some women too, there are some ladies too, kàkà kan broke. Ìdí wọn lágbóná. Kàkà kan broke. Rather than for them to be broke like this. Àlàyé kí ló fẹ́? Ṣé líkìní náà?
Now you go tire.
Má bọ̀.
No, now so let's leave that. Now, I think that has been sufficiently clarified, dealt with. Now, two more things before I allow you go.
Right.
You are a lecturer now.
Yes, I
you
teach now.
you are in the academics, and you've been around the ivory tower for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is the problem of Nigeria educational system?
Okay, after I said this, they will not sack me. But I will just say, for me, I think most of our lecturers don't know the job that they are teaching. They know the theories. So it's okay. That's why I think the way the university system is structured, the lecturer is not supposed to really know the practice. They're supposed to teach the theories and collaborate with the practitioners to teach the practice. I think it's the theater that got it. So you have the lecturers kede, you have the arts fellows kede. So the lecturers teach the theory, the art fellows teach the practice. And Tijoke is an art fellow. That's why her promotion is chief art fellow, which is equivalent to a professor, which is why she's called professor. She didn't switch, because what people are doing now is so that they can call them professor. When they enter through art fellow, they convert to lecturer.
Lecturing, okay.
So that they can get professor, because in the art fellowship, what you can be is director of arts. But it's the equivalent. The chief art fellow is equivalent to the professor. So, but there's a dichotomy that they don't call them professors. That's why they switch. But the idea is, and that's why the promotion for the arts fellow is the compilation of your work, not papers. You must keep producing. So if you keep producing, if you keep doing, the students will be able to learn from it. So the university education is well structured. But what happens now, it doesn't mean that the people teaching theories should not know. They can know a little, but collaborate with practitioners. That's why when you go to business schools abroad or in Nigeria, it's the people who do business that come and they bring them to come and teach you. They do master classes. When you learn the theories, they tell you go and do internship. But you must learn. It's in law, right?
Yeah.
When you graduate, you go to law school. It is advisable not to start your firm immediately.
Even in law school, you have law firm attachment. Even
Even
to
after that attachment,
Yes.
when you come out, it's advisable that you learn the ropes a little bit under someone like an apprentice. Someone you can defer to. Someone that can show you the tricks that you will never be taught in school. But that is missing in the university education now. And this is why lecturers are preoccupied with getting promoted. And this is how you get promoted: publish or perish. So, because it is when you get promoted that your money will increase, that your relevance will increase. When you publish, your relevance will increase. So most of the teachers are not teaching out of passion. They're teaching to survive. That's a simple truth. How much? I can tell you what my salary is. Maybe I will not tell you here now. But if you look at, Google it and look at the salary structure for university teachers. It's on the internet. YouTube, go and look at it. Look at the figures there. And tell me. Yet, you take out of this hard-earned money to publish.
Okay. It's not like the institution sponsors the publication. You have to take from your
You have to
own money.
publish in journals.
Okay. With your own personal.
Yes, please. You have to publish in journals. So you will pay for assessment. So somebody will read and review. If it's good, you move on to paying for publication. If after assessment is not good and they drop it, you will suffer assessment at the journal and have a nice day. But if they tell you to review, if they tell you your work is not publishable at all, sorry. If they review and say make corrections, okay. They might say, okay, for instance, for a review can be 10,000 just to read it and review. So when you now want to publish, it's 30,000. When they have accepted it, 30,000. And it's to move from assistant lecturer to lecturer 2, from lecturer 2 to lecturer 1, from lecturer 1 to senior lecturer, from senior lecturer to associate professor, from associate professor to professor. See all that. So you must have a number of papers. Then you must have administrative responsibility. So examination officer, head of clinical lecture committee. People are preoccupied with activities. Right? Then they say you must do research. Then they say you must contribute to your immediate society where the university is, and in your church. So people are busy with their lives,
trying to sort and secure the bag.
Some are just looking at you, doing their papers. Next opportunity, the good brains, Canada, UK, US, Australia, they are gone. Foreign exchange, they are gone. They're gone. So you have people who, and the students too are not helping matters. They don't want to learn. So you want to push them to learn. They report you as being wicked. The university axes you for being wicked, for something. So your senior colleagues advises you, put your passion on your PhD, put your passion on publishing, put your passion, don't get sent away from this job. So a lot of people, I'm not saying that some people want to actually teach. Some lecturers, despite all these things, they still want to impact. But these children, most of them, about 65 to 70%, don't want to do any trouble. They don't want to do any wahala. So if you impress it, you are wicked. In fact, some of them might go as far as setting you up so that they can get you out of the system. So people now call you and advise you.
Careful. Let them out.
Focus on your life. Leave these children alone. Leave them. You say, must they? If we leave them alone, what was going? If they send you away, you will see where you will express yourself. You will take advice.
Definitely.
Because you have a wife, you have daughters, you have sons. Some of the lecturers have wives. Some of them have mother, father, uncle.
They are humans. They are Nigerians like us.
So they would rather not lose the job. Throw away already because we are laying on crew. So okay, you want to come to lecture? They do the lecture. Bye bye. So it's two ways.
Because of our time, I won't be able to dwell more on that. But let me quickly move to the last thing, which is another very, very, yes. Because on Random, what we do is we profile you and we touch on your areas of interest. Yeah. And I think we've been able to touch on so many things. Finally, on a final note. I've heard you say this before, that you will not advise anybody to marry. But now you are married and you have a beautiful daughter. You are married. Has that advice changed?
I am grateful to God for my wife, who's very supportive. Please do not take that as meaning that everything has been rosy or is a bed of roses. It has not been. But wow, see that my wife? 1 in a million. My daughter, that girl is a blessing. The things she says at that her age, she does. She's kind. She is that I take. She's kind. So I am grateful for my family. But if I could turn back the hands of time, I would stay single. I'll probably just have a baby mama somewhere and I will stay single.
Why?
The pressure of responsibility is killing. And it's never enough. The day you have correct your wife, she will tell you, what are you doing then?
That's a campaign.
Okay. You see, we are in the same boat.
That's a campaign.
What are you doing that your mates are not doing? Is this what your mates are doing? Your mates are doing better than this. What are you doing that no man has done before? And you look at that person, you look at that person. Well, you go share, go team must stop, go soaking, go come along. But that's how she feels at that time. Kí ló ń ṣe? Yeah. Because if you also look at the question, ṣó ń rán iṣẹ́ kó wá toast o? It's you that is saying now to get married though. Marry me. You convince the woman to marry you. So tó bá bí ẹgbẹ́ kí ló ń ṣe náà ni. Because there are people who wanted to do more than that. But she followed you. So the burden of provision is on you as a man. That burden of provision is a lot. Is a lot. If God did not bless you with plenty money, so what may I tell people is, if you can, even Paul said it. Paul said, hey, if you can't, don't marry.
But people thought it was just being
because you will see tribulation. Your wife will give you tribulation, will give you problem.
He explained everything.
He
People don't understand.
People will not. Unfortunately, I had gotten married. I had my child before my friend Apostle Oladide Sheye now showed me that.
See what say Apostle Paul talk.
I said, mo fẹ́ sọ pé Apostle exchange rí. Why did you show me this? And that's why he was. I had married before he became apostle, I think. No, I was not married before he became apostle. But I think he too he had married before he saw what Apostle Paul said. Me too, I had married before he too now went and studied it. I said, if I had seen this, I would have chilled. Not because your partner is bad. No. Not because your partner is bad. No. Not because your partner is giving you any stress. No, please. So because people now, their brain is one way. Some people, their brain is one way. They say, oh, but my only problem in marriage, no. It's because the burden is. So me, I tell you, Rodada Koto marry. So if I marry, fantastic, will support you. But if you will listen to me, why? Well, okay, fine. And do you know the people who give that advice? If you are not married, you can't give that advice for a year. If you are not married,
and that's why they won't listen. That you marry your own.
And when I was sharing something with my friend, Le Fabusoro, my friend, she said, "You must have find my go marry." Go marry. But how been duty? He was telling me, but how been duty? No, that God was blessing you. You shall now because you cried that time. God now you complain to God. God now said, okay, let me give you somebody that will marry you. He now gave me, I buy you because I want to be there.
Chifa Ikedaru has a song. Only àpọ́ntí ò láyà oníkọ̀sùn. Ìgbádùn ayé ni ọjọ́ tó bá ti láyà ìrònú á di mẹ́ta lọ́rùn rẹ̀.
No, kí ni ló tún wá sọ Saheed Òṣùpá.
Okay.
Ó ní
àpọ́nsùn lọ rí dáadáa.
Ọlọ́run tó ti ṣẹ̀dá kó wá ti dóníkàlùkù pẹ̀lú ìwà kan ṣá tó láti jọ ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n ní lágbájá dà gan ìbọn ibẹ̀ yẹn kọ́ ni mo ń lọ. Ó ní ìyàwó mi ní ṣùgbọ́n mo fẹ́ràn ṣùgbọ́n ẹ mọ̀ èmi gan ni ó fẹ́ mi fẹ́ ṣùgbọ́n mi ó fẹ́ mi nìkan níbo ni ó fi ṣùgbọ́n mi sí ó fẹ́ lómìíràn ó lè tún ju tèmi gan lọ. That's why I said it's not about your partner. It's about you must give yourself trouble. Because sorry tí nǹkan bá ti smooth to you tí relationship yín bá ti smooth to you check one of you will die soon. That means one of you did not yan ẹ̀mí gígùn. How can you have a marriage?
This is a theory.
Let people come and tell me. Some people will come and tell me, I don't remember the day we fought. Áńgẹ́lì ìwé o jẹ́ kọ́ ọmọ mi dàgbà ẹ̀yin áńgẹ́lì. Because people should stop coming to media and stop saying I don't remember the day we fought. Can you stop it? When we first got married, some people were calling us to come on radio and come and share about marriage. My wife said it's not time. He said I cannot go on radio or media and be telling things that are not true. Give us time. I'm not ready to go on radio to talk about my marriage. And now, first of all, mo kí ló ṣe gay, kí ló ṣe wá tí ó ṣe yàn kan rí. But as I went, I began to look at it. She's right. She has a point. Because will I go on air? Because if I want to say the truth, we're still in the early years of our marriage. We may say things that will hurt each other if we say the truth. The only alternative to that is to say, oh, when we fight, we don't let it. We now begin to quote so many things that is a lie. So we are not matured yet. The marriage is just going to be 4 years. So we are not matured yet to start talking about it.
Because some people start having master classes just 3 months afterward.
That's their problem. They should go on. I don't know how people come and say they have never fought.
How come? How far?
I don't get it.
I saw a post.
And it's not only young marriage, you know. We have old people too. And like, okay. And then some people say, "See abaja, àwọn ọmọ òkì mọ̀." Like, how? Did you do bulletproof door or soundproof door that when you are arguing in your room they will not hear? That's not possible now. There will be outbursts.
Definitely.
Even if they are not outbursting, children will feel it. There's a tension in the air. There's a tension in the air. So we should stop feeding people lies about marriage. Also, stop demonizing marriage. So some people should not say that it's sad to be alone. Kò sick, kò dáwàlé, kò má rèèyàn kankan fara nù. Whether the person is fighting you or not, kò má rèèyàn. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣàgbó, bẹ́ẹ̀ ra nǹkan, bẹ́ẹ̀ dáná, try ẹ̀ wò. So it has pros and cons.
If they help my yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know how to cook. Bá a ṣe ẹ̀fọ́, mo máa ń gbìyànjú láti ṣe ẹ̀fọ́ tí bá fẹ́ múnú mi dùn gbà yẹn. Nǹkan ṣáà máa ṣẹ̀fọ́ yẹn ni. But mo máa kó jẹ bẹ́ẹ̀. I remember recently that I cook ẹ̀fọ́ to make my wife relax because she works a lot. So I just said, okay, mo ti fún lówó ọbẹ̀ máa ṣe weekend. Man, okay, this Friday I went to pick my child and I took my child to the market. I bought ẹ̀fọ́. I want to surprise her. The first thing that he did was, oh no, he started criticizing my ẹ̀fọ́. First thing is, if you don't mo ti fún ẹja, especially orí ẹja, mo ti yọ ìfun. It was the day after ló wá ní wàá ṣe orí ẹ̀ báyìí. But wàá yọ, o ti yọ síbí, but here. That day she now showed me, I said, oh days, ẹni gbogbo ìfun wà ń bẹ. Èmi tí wọ́n ra inú ẹran, mo ra ṣàkì. Ó wá ń bi mí, did you wash that ṣàkì well? Aláyé mo ti fọ̀ fún mi lẹ̀. When she was now explaining to me, then there was ìfun díẹ̀. Èmi mo kàn ṣan ìfun ni. Mo ṣe báyìí. Ó sọ pé she now told me ìfun wàá fi ọ̀bẹ là báyìí. Wàá ṣí inú ẹ̀, wàá fọ̀. Ó ní àánú ẹ̀ kàn ṣe mí bí o ṣe ń jẹ lálọ́ ni. Because when she now told me wàá fi ọ̀bẹ là no, I said, true.
It's like
you
a pie.
wash it too. Ayé o wá gbàdúrà wá páyẹ̀ pẹ̀lú bóyá jẹ́ lálọ́ ẹ̀. Though I use macho man to be carrying it though, but inside my heart I was saying, So if you want to be alone, try. Wọ́n kàn rí pé o kú lójijì. Wọ́n ní wọ́n pé o ti jẹ fún ẹran láì fọnú ẹ̀ many times because you don't know. O ti jẹ orí ẹja like láti jọ́ tí mo ti ń fọ orí ẹja since the day I been wash orí ẹja. It was last month when she showed me that place that I knew that you are supposed to open that place
and remove that
and wash that place and remove the blood as there. Láti jọ́ tí mo ti ṣe ẹja tó máa ṣe mo ṣàrí pé kí ni ẹ máa ń ní tí máa ń jẹ́ ó máa tí bá jẹ́ orí ibẹ̀ ó máa ń ní kí n gbé pé it's part of the àṣẹ mo ti jẹ òṣì. That's how you will keep eating it and your lifespan will be reducing because you are not trained to wash it. Some men are trained like that, but the percentage of men that are trained to do that.
But even apart from that, cooking, like you rightly said, companionship is not something you can do for yourself.
Yes, it's not.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We have to go right now. This is random, and of course, it has been random. And I'm so sure, I promised you will enjoy it, and I'm so sure you've enjoyed random. Trust me, I'm so sure. I'm very, very sure you enjoyed Random. Thanks to Mr. Tolu FAGBURE TF Afin for being our guest on today's edition of Random. Till next week, when I'll be back again, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to put your notification on, and don't forget to tell others about this platform. Thank you so much. God bless you. After that, Samuel is the name. See you some other times. Bye.